Well, hello, my darlings. Welcome to Morning Cuppa with Wallace. And she didn't get her cup of tea. Oh, I've been in such a state. Oh, oh, darlings. I've just, oh, I just cannot believe all that's going on in the world and all the stuff that's happening, as you probably can't either. But today I was going to talk about other things, perhaps more about the afterlife and mediumship and those sorts of things. But no. I can't resist having a bit of a rant today. Jude and I will be on, for the weekend, so we'll cover off on this. That's if um that's if Jude can be on, because she's not well at the moment. She's very unwell at the moment. She's been unwell for 2 or 3 days. So I haven't spoken. I will speak to her later on today and see if she'll be able to, or if she'll feel up to it. She's very under the weather and she's not well at all. She was going to be talking to the hospital and talking to people this afternoon. So she's not well, not well, not a well girl at the moment. So, not sure about Judy and I doing the show together this week. I'm hoping, and but in a couple of weeks we've got a treat for you. We're not going to let the cat out of the bag yet, but in a couple of weeks we have got our first guest on. We're very excited about that. So that's a little bit of housekeeping. If you like the show and you love what we're doing and what I do, and you love all this, then hit the button below and subscribe. That's what makes the channel grow and gives us more for the future. So we're hoping that we at some time can get to 100,000 subscribers. Not sure when that takes place or how that happens. Throw my shoulders in the air, no idea. NFI. But what I do want to, just cover off on that. And we've got a sponsorship coming up, which will be fabulous. We've changed on on Bold Not Old, on the, I'm not sure it's on this one, but it's certainly on the one for Judith and I. We've changed the intro to it and done a few, different things with that, which are quite exciting. But I just want to give out some thank yous. One is I want to thank all of you for joining me, everyone who comes and joins me. Just check the time, because I want to make sure I only take up about 30 minutes of your time. Pardon me, I want to give a big thank you to all of you who join me, to everyone who clicks and joins and, joins the show. I think it's fabulous. I love it. And I love the fact that you're there. I love the fact that you join in. And Mandy, thank you for your comment about growing the hair. It is growing. It will grow. It's not, it's growing. It's growing. It takes a long time to get it. I want to get it to about sort of chin length. Probably take several months, but bit by bit, and perhaps along the way, try and put it into a bit of, a bit of a style to live with it while it grows down. So thank you, Mandy, for your comment about growing my hair. Yeah, I think it's time. I think I'd like a change. I'm just hoping I can persevere, but I'll depend on all of you to keep pushing me along on that one. I would like to have I would like to continue with it, and we all at some stage want to give in, but I don't want to do that. So I'll try and keep some sort of style into it and something happening with it. I haven't done that yet, but I will, because it's needing something. But anyway, it's good. I stick some clips in it and it's all good. Okay, so thank you to Mandy, thank you, and Spirituality Hub, thank you for your comment about my father and about what had gone on with that very interesting time a few weeks ago. And I must tell you something else in a minute before I get into this rant that I'm going to go on with. And Percy, thank you for your comments. I do agree, darling. I do digress. And perhaps it, you know, some weeks worse than others. I get to be all over the place a bit. But I do thank you for that. And it does make me aware of it. Um, Even though unconsciously I am aware of it, I know that I do it. But thank you for reminding me that I do, so that I can, work on staying on track a bit. Okay, so thank you to all of you who make comments. I love your comments, so click on the comments and leave comments for me, because I read them all, and at this point of time I can respond. There's not too many for me to be able to respond to, so that's good. I can do that, and I guess at some time, someday, we'll get to a point where I won't be able to respond to everybody in that way, more just verbally be able to go in and probably make comments, but I can now. I can make comments at the moment. So we're quite excited. I'm quite excited about what's coming up. The guest won't be on this program. The guest will be on the program with Judith and I in a couple of weeks. So we'll be putting that out. We're very excited about that. That's our first guest. We're hoping to get more. So keep working at it. Okay, so today is about me letting off some steam. Lots of things I could have talked about, but I am going to the title of today's show is The Incompetence and Lies Are Staggering. I have been in such a space this week, as have a lot of people, I'm certain of it, because I'm feeling that. I'm feeling the energies of everybody else. So I'm going to be letting off steam today. I'm hoping not to get, ranting about it too much. But, the incompetence of all these people during this time of seriousness. It's very serious. Um, it's like a bunch. I don't want to down the whole. I don't want to down the kids in a schoolyard, but it's like a bunch of kids out of control. I mean, it's staggering, and the incompetence and the lies, the cover-ups. The lies of it all. Levitt. I mean, does she know what she's doing? Does she know anything? I mean, she doesn't know her ass from her head. Sorry, darling. I'm going to be a bit rude today. She doesn't. She doesn't know her ass from her head. That's why she's talking out of the other end. Um, she doesn't have a clue. What is the story with that woman? Where in God's name did he get these people? I know. I know. All the idiots. All the idiots. There was a cartel of idiots, and they all got together and they said, let's apply for this job. Let's apply for the jobs at the White House, and let's get ourselves a really good job that pays well. And while we're at it, let's see if we can, grift a few more dollars and, change our lives, and maybe buy ourselves, some new cars and houses and a yacht or something. If the Supreme Court can do it, well, then, they probably thought they should be able to do it as well. So she doesn't have a clue. Her press conferences are just incompetent, and she's a liar. And you're going to hear more of that as I go through this. So that's one. Then you've got this fellow Rubio. When he first came into office, I sort of held out a faint hope that, he might be the dark horse amongst them. He might be the one who, kept these morals, and just get me cards, darlings. Kept his morals and kept himself a little bit above it all, hung on to a little bit of what's good in the world and what was good in himself. Wrong. Wrong. That didn't happen. And like many of the gang of thieves, he's lost his morals and his mind as well. Heard him on that interview where he was wafting on about when they said about Iran was, did the intel suggest, had it changed in the last 3 or 4 months, had it changed that alerted them to the fact that Iran or Iran, whichever way you want to say it, had, the capabilities of a bomb. I said that didn't matter. That was irrelevant. Right. I don't know. Is it me, darlings? Because I thought that was quite relevant. I mean, wasn't that the whole point of it all? Isn't that the whole? Well, it wasn't to begin with. First of all, Hegseth and some of the other lunatics were all banging on about Trump, and Iran were, talking about assassinating him, and that's why they were going to go to war with them. They were going to, get involved in all this because there was a thing about an assassinate, but that died. That bit of that crock of shit, that that fell into the toilet, and they moved on from that. And the next thing was it was all about nuclear capabilities. That should seal the deal. Everybody can't buck the fact that we don't want these regimes to have nuclear arms or nuclear weapons. So that was a good reason to get involved. Was it? What was the real reason? Netanyahu, wasn't it? Wasn't the real reason, the criminal in Israel? Wasn't it? He's a criminal. He belongs in jail, just like the other bloke. He belongs in jail. They all belong in jail. Well, why aren't they there? Bugger if I know, darlings. Bugger if I know. So Rubio, he's lost his mind and his marbles. Perhaps his marbles are elsewhere. And Hegseth, well, he talks through the bottle. He doesn't have a clue most of the time, does he? I mean, I think all of us, darling, need to go out and see if we can land ourselves some amazing and fabulous jobs and be paid extraordinary amounts of money for it. It doesn't matter if we're incompetent, does it? Because as long as it's hail to the leader, and we can blow smoke up his old wazoo, then what does it matter? We don't need to be bright and intelligent and use our common sense and have any morals. In fact, we'd be better if we didn't. So now we've got Iran, Israel, and the ceasefire that that sicko Donny dreamt up. It's another one of his nightmare dreams, and then says the others don't have a clue what they're doing. That's a bit pot calling the kettle black, Donny. Yeah. Oh, Dales, I think you're looking in the mirror there, lovies. You don't know what you're doing either, sweetie. You don't have a clue. Not a tosser. And by the way, Sicko Donny, who got upset about the fact that he fumbled over, some of his words and all the rest of it, wanted to make sure and did it in bold letters on his Truth Social. Have you ever seen a world leader, the leader of the free country, the leader of America, with his own social media platform, writing all sorts of rubbish? Okay, let's go back to Sicko Donny, who got upset about that, all of that, and he now wants everyone to know that he's President Donald J. Trump. When he'd forgotten his name, he doesn't know anything, nothing. He's in a very, very, well, I said that a long time ago. If you go back and take a listen to some of my earlier videos, I said that he was a very, very unwell man, and that at the time, what I was getting was that, got an itchy nose, darling, sorry. What I was saying at the time was that, and that's why he tweets all night long or posts all night long, is because he's frightened to go to sleep. And I've been getting that for a long, long time. And in fact, it's escalating. And I've said it before and I'm going to say it again, there's a real big cover up on just how unwell he is. Because part of the plot, because, they picked him out because they can manipulate him. I mean, old Netanyahu must be laughing his head off in Israel because he's got Donny under his. They must be laughing. Sicko Donny doesn't have a clue. He's clueless. It's a fair dinkum mistake-a-thon. They don't have a clue. And so I'm going to do a little reading. Yeah. I'm just looking at the time for you, darlings. I'm going to do a couple of readings on all this. There's a whole bunch more I was going to say, but I do want to save it for the show with Jude and I. I was on the phone with her a couple of days ago, ranting. I was having a rant. I'm just, I was having a rant about, the facts. Just the facts, man, just the facts. And what the facts are in relation to this whole setup in the US, what's really happening, and what is smoke and mirrors, and what is propaganda, and what is just the spin doctors. It's pretty scary stuff. I don't want to alarm you. I do not want to alarm you, but it alarmed me. And I guess I have to be honest about that. I haven't had a very good week insofar as this has really bothered me, And because I didn't think that, I'm not saying they're at war. I know that everybody's, shouting war, war, war. But I'm not saying they're at war because Iran have, retaliated in the way that they did with Qatar. But that doesn't all constitute a war. And at this point of time, Sicko Donny's upset with Netanyahu because at the end of the day, none of them are his friends. Putin, yet Netanyahu, none of these people are his friends. He doesn't have any friends. He doesn't have any friends. He'd throw them all under the bus at a minute's notice. And he's pretty angry at the moment because he's not getting his way and he's embarrassed about the whole Iran thing. So normally when you see him in that position, he does things like what he did to, Musk. Where's he? Where's the Musk boy? He's not back in favour. He's not going to be back in favour. Did you watch our show at the weekend where we had the link for a whole terrific expose on how they stole the election? If you haven't watched it, go and take a look at it and look for the link for the expose on how that was all put in place and when it was put in place, and it was a long time. to put in place that. And what's a little bit worrying, are those things still in place, and can they be, can they be initiated at any given time? And will we see in the US any future elections, per se? Fair elections. Okay. What am I doing? Okay, I'm asking the question, will the ceasefire, and it's a very volatile situation. I get it. They're telling me incredibly volatile, hard to, difficult to say. But let's have a punt at it. Will the ceasefire hold? I think what I'm getting is no, it won't. And it won't because Netanyahu can't. He cannot do that. That's not in his interest. That's not why he began it. That's not why he's doing what he's doing. He started it all, and he can't hold. He can't hold a ceasefire. What was the thing about the planes are there, but they're really there just to sort of give them a wave or something? Any wonder I'm doing a rant this week? Okay, let's have a little look at it. Okay, the first card that comes out is the Ace of Pentacles. This Ace of Pentacles. Something's going on. There is something. There's things brewing. That's what I'm getting. Lots of things brewing, and I don't think the ceasefire will hold. We'll see, but I don't think it will, because I think there's too much. Netanyahu's got too much. Wheel of Fortune, absolutely. There's this. Look at the king sitting at the top of it. Wheel of Fortune. No, I don't think it'll hold. I think we're. What am I getting? I think we're too far gone. I, I, I don't think Netanyahu can. That's the honest truth. I don't think he can hold a ceasefire in the Middle East, because I don't think that it serves his. I don't think it serves what he's about. Judgment card's fallen out. Yeah, absolutely. There will be hell to pay over it. There will be a judgment over it all. Um, apart from the fact that, people are just fed up. We're all just absolutely fed up to the eyeballs, fed up to the teeth with it. We're fed up with the lies and the skullduggery and the lying, scheming, conniving media. Death card, absolutely. Not surprising the death card has come out. Won't surprise me if the tower follows it, but the death card is definitely, I'm going to say the ceasefire will not hold. The devil, caught between the devil and the deep blue sea, Netanyahu and the whole thing, no, he can't, he cannot He cannot. He cannot have a ceasefire. He just can't. The Magician card, as above, so below. I believe that this is all part of the transformation of the planet. It's part of our transformation. It's part of us all moving on from the old. And, we knew all along that the lessons that were coming would be very, very difficult ones. Netanyahu is in it for the dough. He's in it for the money. He's in it to keep himself afloat. If it wasn't for him creating the war between Palestine and Israel, he'd be in jail now. He's a criminal. He's a criminal. Putin's a criminal. Diaper Donny, Sicko Donny, he's a criminal. They're all criminals. And of course, like you, I'm asking myself, well, how come, they never seem to be brought to justice? Yeah, good question, isn't it? Okay, Queen of Pentacles. This is a woman um, that's um, mm, there's a woman. Where is she? Let's have a little look at that. Where's that woman? Seven of Wands. Yeah, there's certainly some fighting. But this woman, I'm going to go for AOC in the US. I'm going to say that she's going to be stirring up um, um, she's going to be stirring up, a boatload. I was going to say shitload, but a boatload of pushback. I'm going to go with that. Seven of Wands came out after it. Yes, there is enormous pushback, and there has to be from the people. Nine of Wands again. We're talking, pushback, and there will be the opportunity to do that. Knight of Pentacles came out, and the Queen of Cups came out. Some of these women, AOC and Crockett, Jasmine Crockett. I'm going to go with that and say that the ceasefire will not hold. Won't hold. Netanyahu cannot hold a ceasefire, and Trump has no say in that. He can drum up in his head, and it's all in his head, the deals that he thinks that he makes, that he doesn't, because nobody else knows about him when he talks about him. Everybody else is as surprised as we all are, because nobody else knows a damn thing about it. He spends his time, you notice spends very little time at the White House, and most of his time flying around in the helicopter to get to the jet, because he's on his way to The Hague or something now, isn't he? And I just want to ask this question, and I've asked it before, and I'm going to ask it again. And then I'm going to pull just three cards for us, as I like to do. But I'm going to ask this question, and it must upset a lot of other people in the US in relation to this. But he's a felon, convicted felon. Let's not forget that. He's a convicted felon, and he's able to leave the country and go to other countries, and they accept him. I don't think they should. I'm against that. I think that they should, some of these people should be saying, no, we can't give you entry. You're a convicted felon. We don't do it for others. We can't do it for you. I know they're pussyfooting around, but the fact is that he is a convicted felon. And for goodness sake, can somebody tell me, I'm going to shuffle these cards while I'm at it, can somebody tell me how a convicted felon in the White House is now in a position, and he's got a trigger finger, is now in a position, well, that's interesting, thank you, is now in a position where he can put his finger on the, nuclear weapon button. That in and of itself, darling, should be fairly scary. It's scary to me, and I'm living a long way away from most things. And we'll probably talk about it on our next video, but the ones that are not talked about too much, and I'm thinking, what's going on with China? What's going on with China? Because China has the techno stuff, and they have the capabilities, and yeah, I don't want to go there today. Okay, I'm going to pull three cards for you and I. Yes, well, it's certainly a time for that. Okay, let's look forward to the healing of the planet, our healing, our own healing and the healing of the planet, prosperity, that we can move on to more prosperous times, and that we spend our, we develop our understanding. Thank you. We develop our understanding towards the flow, towards, because it's the only thing we can do right now. Um, what else? But definitely more letters, have your say, spend your time, some of your time, not all of it, darlings. I don't want you to spend all of it doing it, but certainly spend time writing to your congressman, whoever they are, whether they're Republicans or whether they're Democrats. Spend your time writing to them, have your say, and it might well be time for people just to get out into the streets and say, no, enough's enough. Mm. Hope you have a fabulous week. I look forward to coming back with Judy, if she's well enough, on the weekend to do our weekend show, Identical Twins. And I look forward to having some of these people on the show. And like you, I'm in no different a situation. We all need to definitely, absolutely focus on our own lives. But we need to know what's what too. We need to know what the truth is, what's really going on, and we need to not be got in by all the crap and the lies and all the rest of the stuff. It's just a load of nonsense. It's just nonsense, it is. But it's serious nonsense and it's dangerous nonsense. I love you all. I care about you. I'll see you at the weekend. And thank you for joining me on Morning Cuppa with Wallace. And I send out all my blessings to you. When you go, I go with you. And when I go, you go with me. And I hold you in my heart and I hold you close. And I wish I could take every one of you and give you a great big hug and assure you that whilst it all may look like it's chaotic and it's going nowhere, no, no, it is going somewhere, and we are moving in the direction of the light and seeing all this darkness gone. And we will appreciate it when we get there, won't we, darlings? Bye for now, and I'll see you on the weekend. Enjoy your week. Thanks for joining me.